Today's best Mix 106, and new movies out this week. Willie Waffle season for you, so you don't have to waste your money on bad movies. Our three movies that Willie's reviewing are Snowden. We also have Bridget Jones' Baby and the Blair Witch Project 2016.
Everybody had so much fun the first time around, they decided to do it again. It's time for Blair Witch.
Explain to me why. I mean, I understand remakes, but remakes this quick, I don't get it.
Yeah, I know. It's been, 16, 17 years since the first one. And this one really is more of a sequel because this is the younger brother of one of the people who disappeared in the first movie. Why, he believes that his sister's been out in the woods all along, and now he thinks he has proof. So he and his buddies, who are the most loyal buddies ever, but also the dumbest, decide to head out into the woods to find her.
After 16 years, or is the timeline a little shorter in the movie?
I think it's a little bit shorter, but not much.
It doesn't matter if it's shorter. If you lose your sister out in the woods, there's no way. If my sister, you're out there, good riddance. We don't have to put up with you during the holidays.
Well, it's funny because I was reading an article yesterday about how people try to fake their own death, and it was suggested that disappearing into the woods is the best one because sometimes you just never get found.
Sometimes people don't go looking for you.
That's right. But in this case, they did. And oh, dear Lord, why they're trying to make it just like the Blair Witch Project in every respect. We've got the found footage. We've got them running around with cameras in their hands and on their ears. We've got them, seeing things in the woods that make them believe they're getting drawn in closer and closer to something much more creepy. And that part we've seen before, and that part isn't as shocking. That part isn't as interesting. But I will say the last quarter of this movie is really creepy and freaky, and I wish the rest of the movie was just as good as that.
So does it, on a scale of the other movie compared to this movie, because that was pretty groundbreaking the first time, and people were definitely freaked out and throwing up in the movie theaters, do we get any of that here?
No, because we are used to this now. I argue that the first movie, because it was the first one to ever really do it, was massively successful and caught us all off guard. We're now 16 years later, and, people do this all the time.
All right, so what do you give it?
I'm going 2 waffles.
2 waffles. For a scary movie, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
All right. Also out this weekend, a couple of other competitors for people who don't like scary movies like me. There's Bridget Jones's Diary.
That's right. We had so much fun the first 2 times around. Let's do it a third time around.
Okay, the first time was okay. Second time,
I haven't seen either of them.
Wow. Well, then you're going to have no idea what this third one's about because it relies heavily on those first 2.
Oh.
Because it's Bridget Jones and she's still a mess. It's her 43rd birthday, and she just feels like life isn't going the way it should. She's having problems at work. She broke up with Mark Darcy again, played by Colin Firth, and she's just lonely. So she meets at a music festival a hunky billionaire played by Patrick Dempsey, and they hit it off. And she disappears the next morning.
Explain to me how somebody that is this much of a mess
I know.
can meet rich, hot-looking guys all the time.
I know. Between Colin Firth and him and McDreamy.
Yeah, that's part of the movie. I'm going, yeah, I see where you're coming from, dude, because, I had the same thought. Because if I'm Colin Firth, why do I put up with this junk in this? I mean, seriously, the guy's like one of the most successful lawyers in all of England. We see that in the movie. I mean, he's doing pretty well. Why does he want to put up with this train wreck of a woman?
Well, actually, if you can answer that question, there's a lot of relationship things that you could probably answer in this day and age. So the trailers look really funny. Is the movie that funny?
No, they put all the good stuff in the trailers. It's really more of a melodrama. Oh, the angst and the pain that she feels because she's not sure which one of these guys is the father, and she's not sure which one she wants it to be the father. And maybe she's in love with one, but the other one's the father, and what will she do? And they don't use her friends enough, and it just becomes this slog as we're just going through the motions, and we're killing time, and we're not really advancing anything other than a couple of bucks to Renée Zellweger's bank account.
So what do you give it?
I'm going 1 waffle.
Ouch. All right, and then finally we have the true story of the guy who can't even see his own movie because he's in exile in Russia, Snowden.
Yeah, I know they've got to send him a DVD, but like the European version. Yeah. I hope he has that setting on his DVD. But yeah, this is Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing Edward Snowden, and we see kind of this story of him as this young patriot, this guy who wants to be in the military but physically could not be, so he goes into the intelligence industry. And, he's pretty smart, and he's writing a lot of programs and doing a lot of hacking, and, well, he's kind of a little bit of a rising superstar in the industry. But over the years, he becomes bitter. He becomes jaded. He feels that maybe we're not being American with what we're doing, that maybe we're spying on Americans more than we're actually spying on the bad guys. So he's going to blow the cover off the whole thing.
Oh, my gosh.
Which, by the way, it is against the law to spy on Americans.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Kind of.
But in the movie, I think they need to bring in that debate more. This idea of, are we doing this for security, or is it truly a horrible violation of the Constitution and everything we stand for as Americans? We don't get that debate very much because there's a large portion of the movie where Oliver Stone wants to focus in on, Edward Snowden's having problems with his girlfriend.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, because I guess they think it will make him more relatable or make the movie appeal to a wider base of people. All I kept thinking is, dude, I think we've got more important things to discuss than whether or not you two are going to, be getting along tonight over dinner, all right? So I think that's a big problem with the movie. I think it's a snoozer. If you don't know the story already, I feel you just get lost in this soup of everything. I'm going 1.5 waffles for Snowden.
God, I had so much higher hopes for the movies this week.
Too.
Yeah, I did too, but you know what? That's all right because there's always hope for next week. There's always that Denzel Washington movie that we've been thinking about for a long time.
Yes.
The Magnificent Seven.
About damn time.
Oh, I agree. I've been waiting for this one since I saw the first trailer, man. I think it's going to be really good.
All right, we will talk to you then next week.
Sounds like a plan. You guys have a great week.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.